Do you think you know everything about the Friends series and its cast? Let's check if you can prove it by answering the hardest questions in our quiz.
The test is ready.
Our first question is from the Friends reunion. Who hid her lines all over the place on the set? Lisa, Jennifer, or Courtney? And the answer is Courtney. Matt LeBlanc revealed that Cox always had a script hidden on the table in Monica's apartment, and she even had one in the sink to refer to whenever she forgot her lines. The Joey actor also recalled how he found her notes once and erased them as a prank. Courtney panicked when she couldn't find them.
Oh.
Matt only confessed at the reunion. Maybe he was just afraid that she'd go full Monica and freak out on him. After all, Courtney is very similar to her character. This takes us to the next question. What Monica move is Courtney guilty of doing last holiday season? A. Cleaning her entire house. B. Performing the turkey dance. C. Opening all the presents by herself. And the answer is performing the turkey dance.
Symbol of Thanksgiving. Here you go.
It made everyone so happy. Our third question is about Jennifer Aniston. Just like Rachel, she's a fashionista in real life, and she loved Rachel's wardrobe. But what was her favorite item? A. Denim overalls. B. Plaid miniskirt. C. Yellow dress with embroidery. Jennifer adored the yellow dress with embroidery on it. We saw it in Season 5's episode, the one with all the kissing. It's truly gorgeous, isn't it? Share in the comments below if you agree with the actress or think that another outfit was better. And we're moving on to Lisa Kudrow. You might already know that she didn't like learning how to play the guitar while preparing for the role of Phoebe. But do you know what Lisa offered to play instead? A. Bongos. B. Bagpipes. C. Keyboard. A true Friends fan knows that the latter two were Ross's favorite instruments. So that leaves us with bongos.
I didn't like the guitar, I wasn't getting it, and so I think I even asked, what if she plays the bongos?
The writers weren't on board with this idea though, so Lisa decided that only learning a few chords would be enough for Phoebe. And she was right. But Lisa wasn't the only one who didn't like something about her role, which leads us to the fifth question. Which episode did Matthew Perry hate in the beginning? A. The one with the chairs. B. The one in London. C. The one with Eddie, the crazy roommate. And the answer is the one with the chairs. During the reunion, Perry recalled how he thought that it was stupid to make an episode where Joey and Chandler just lounge in their chairs for days on end. LeBlanc convinced him that it was actually quite funny, so Perry eventually agreed to go with it. But the Ross actor was way more emotional about his on-set challenge. What did David Schwimmer hate in the show? A. Ross being a paleontologist. B. Matt LeBlanc being his nap buddy. C. Marcel the monkey. If you watch the reunion, you should remember that the right answer is C. And if you're a Friends fan, you know that he didn't mind playing a paleontologist and actually loved the scene where he napped with Matt. But the monkey? Ugh. David absolutely hated doing scenes with Marcel because of how often the animal would mess up.
Where we're about to do something really funny, but the monkey didn't hit its mark, so we have to start again.
Gee, it got him going. But David isn't a bad guy at all. He actually did something beautiful for his co-stars. And get ready because it's the seventh question of our quiz. Which sweet tradition did Schwimmer start for the cast? A. Having dinner together every day. B. Doing the group huddle. C. Arranging a scavenger hunt. It was the group huddle.
I think David Schwimmer was the one that initiated the huddle.
David is the most perverted.
The actor's main idea was for everyone to have a moment of focus together before they began the work. Plus, of course, the huddle just felt good. They'd always do it before filming an episode, except for one time, and it made them very superstitious about the huddle. So, what happened that one time they didn't do it? A. Matt LeBlanc injured his arm. B. Jen Aniston broke her nail. C. Matthew Perry slipped on a banana peel. LeBlanc injured his arm really badly. It was the third season's episode, the one where no one's ready. While Joey and Chandler fought over a chair, LeBlanc had an unfortunate landing on the table.
Because the fellas were just talking about the group huddle, and they said the one time you didn't do it, something happened. What happened?
Mr. LeBlanc
His arm fell out.
of his body.
Dislocated his shoulder.
After that incident, the actors connected the dots and remembered that they hadn't done the huddle before filming. That's when the cast made it a rule to huddle every single time. And here's another question about the Joey actor. What did Matt LeBlanc steal from the set? A. Joey's pizza. B. All of Chandler's clothes. C. The Magna Doodle. The correct answer is the Magna Doodle that hung on the back of Joey and Chandler's door. But he didn't steal it for himself. Matt gave it to one of the crew members. His name is Paul Schwimmer, and he was the guy who always drew on the Magna Doodle.
He was one of the electricians on the show, and he just happened to be the artist that kind of drew always something relevant to the story that week on the thing. So
Yep, he's the one who gave us that cool Easter egg. But Matt wasn't the only one to take something from the set. And here's our 10th question. What souvenir did Matthew Perry steal? A. A cookie jar. B. A dinosaur skull. C. The Gladys picture. It was the cookie jar from Monica's apartment. But just like his co-star, Matthew didn't steal it for himself. He gave the prop to Lisa Kudrow. It was their little inside joke after they filmed the scene where Lisa pointed to the jar like it was a real clock.
To that and said, ooh, look at the time.
Being as funny as Chandler in real life, Perry couldn't leave this without comment.
And Matthew said, did you point to the cookie jar and say, look at the time?
So it was a perfect wrap-up gift, and it was actually important to gather some souvenirs, especially when everyone realized that the show was nearing its end. This leads us to the next question. What set was completely destroyed while filming the finale? A. Monica's living room. B. Central Perk. C. Joey's apartment. The correct answer is Central Perk. Yep, however heartbreaking it sounds, the famous coffee house was torn down after the last scene was filmed on it. The crew did have a reason for the destruction. They had to build the airport set to film Rachel boarding her plane to Paris. But still, couldn't they have found another place for those scenes and kept the Central Perk intact? And speaking of the final episode, it's obvious that everyone wept while filming it, except for one actor. So, who was the only person who didn't cry while filming the finale? Perry, LeBlanc, or Schwimmer? It was Perry!
You're dead inside!
Yeah, it's hard to imagine that he kept his eyes dry while everyone else was crying a river. David dreaded their final group huddle and started to lose it right after. Courtney and Lisa couldn't stop crying, even just talking about ending the show. Matt actually started smoking because of all the stress. Jennifer said that they had never needed so many hair and makeup retouch sessions before. And meanwhile, Matthew looked pretty calm.
What is wrong with you?
But in his defense, the actor shared that he was about to burst into tears for the whole 7 hours. Should we believe him? Anyway, let's move on to the 13th question. How many episodes were there in the final season? A. 20. B. 24. C. 18. The right answer is 18. The final season was the shortest of all, and it was all because Jennifer Aniston wanted to be done with the series as soon as possible. She initially didn't want to take part in it at all, but it wouldn't make any sense to film the season without Rachel, so Jen agreed to sign up for it only if it was shorter. Sure, we could be angry at her for that, but hey, at least we had Rachel in the final season. We can't imagine it without her. And we also can't even think about Jen being anything else other than an actress, but she actually knows what she would do if she wasn't. And this brings us to the final question. Which career would Jen be in if she wasn't acting? A. Psychological services. B. Interior design. C. Personal trainer. Interior design is the right answer. I love it. It's my happy place. Aniston shared about it. Well, even though we're sure that she'd be an awesome designer, we're thankful that she chose acting. That's it for today. Let us know your score in the comments below. After that, go ahead and watch our other Friends videos, and remember to stay awesome.